We are on the road today with one of my best friends, Bob the camper. Oh, and I guess she's here too. But we're going somewhere we haven't been in a long time. It's the reason Bob was actually made, so let's get there. So we're at Padre Island National Seashore. So this is a national park in the state of Texas on the Gulf of Mexico. And it's one of our favorite places because it's about a 66-mile beach that's like completely uninterrupted. You can drive on it, you can camp wherever you want. So the first 5 miles of the beach, pretty much anyone can access. All the sand is packed down, like cars, trailers, other big RV type of things. And after that, it's 4-wheel drive only, and they can get ruddy and stuff. So we're gonna hit the beach and we're gonna drive until we don't see anyone anywhere, and that's where we're gonna camp. So good morning, and this is Bob, our off-road camper. So we've done a few videos on this camper before. The thing is, we never did a video about what it was designed for, which is beach camping. So a few years ago, we went camping on the beach in a tent, and we came out here, had a great time in the sun and the sand all day. And then it was time to go to sleep, and we went to get in the tent and lay down on the ground, and the sand was just so piping hot. We were miserable and sandy all night long.
Blew all over us. It's like not comfortable.
No. So after that experience, I was like, we need something better that's off the ground, has a shower to get cleaned off at night, has air conditioning because it's hot. Like today it's gonna be 97 degrees, I think. So that's how Bob got started. So B-O-B, that stands for Big Off-Road Benroy. So Benroy is like the overall shape of the camper, like the teardrop style shape of the camper. It's bigger than your traditional Benroy because it has bunk beds in the front, and it's off-roady because it has, big meaty tires. So the things that make Bob great for the beach, this cabinet right here, this is where the shower is. So this is a propane powered shower. You got your propane tank down here. We have a water pump under there. Let me show you that. So behind all this junk right here, there is our water pump right there. It's got an inlet and an outlet. The switch for it is up here, so you turn that on. Have everything hooked up over here, so the water comes out of the jug. I have a PVC pipe going down to the bottom of it about right there. Sucks it up, goes in through the water pump, comes out, goes into the shower, goes out the shower hose, which is on the other side, and you turn your shower on with this little switch right here. So whenever it's time, just do that. Your hot water heater turns on, you got hot water to rinse off. Last night we do have a shower tent that you can set up, but it's so windy here, I thought it'd just get blown over. So we just stood on the side on this grate here, which makes a good shower station, and showered off, got right in bed, not sandy. So the air conditioner was another key feature, and so there's no hookups here. There's no hookups for miles that way or for miles that way. So we do have a generator, even though, we're off grid, we got power here. So this will power the AC unit. And so you just hook the generator up to this short plug right here that powers the entire camper off AC power if you're gonna hook up that way. You open this flap right here. This is the both This is the intake and the exhaust for the AC unit, and these are some PC fans I added to help blow that hot air out. So you flip this little switch right here, that turns on the PC fans, and then if we had the generator going, you could turn on the air conditioner and cool this puppy down. So we do also have this Max Air fan. It's got a thermostat on it. That's pretty cool. We did not need to use the AC last night. It was only like 80 degrees. Turned this guy on high, had the windows open, had the breeze going. It was pretty nice in here. And as far as in here, we also have a heater, so that requires AC, but we've been camping in 13-degree weather, and that little electric heater heats up the whole thing great. You've got some speakers and some power outlets in here. You've got lights, storage. And then up front, you got these bunk beds for the kids who are surprisingly not here today because it's our anniversary, and you get no kids on your anniversary. But what can happen is if you want to, this top bunk, you got these latches right here. You can undo the latches, it hinges down, and it turns into a couch. Thing is that we've not once used the couch. Now we always leave it just like this, and we just like that. We just throw stuff up there. It's way more convenient that way. So if I did this again, I probably wouldn't even bother with the couch, but it's there if we want it. So we also got the solar panel here charging the 12-volt system right now. So this is a Renogy 100-watt solar panel. And the reason the solar panel isn't like mounted up top is because I had this idea that if we go and we camp somewhere under trees and we want the camper in shade, but we want the solar panel in sun, then it's, it's just on a cord, and you can go and put the solar panel wherever you want. And so that's worked once or twice, but it's such a pain in the butt to get this thing out, get it all set up. Like I might just hardwire it in at some point, but for now we're still doing this. And I hot wired the solar plugs here up to just a regular extension cord outlet. So this is like an extension cord inlet for a boat application, and it's hot wired to the solar wires here, and that goes in all the way back to the solar charge controller, which you can maybe kind of sort of see way back there. And that charges, we've got a lithium ion battery in there, and that thing's 100 amp hours, I think, so that'll go for a while. Also got this ARB fridge here. So this, I forget what size it is, but it works really well. And the reason I chose the ARB fridge is because at the time, it drew the least amount of power compared to other fridges. That was a while ago. So I think it's hard to put an exact date on it, but I think I built this like 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, with the help of my dad, my brother, this beautiful wife here.
Did the curtains?
She did all the curtains that you saw inside. The bed covers my mom helped out with too.
Oh, yep. Your mom did that beautiful bob towel.
Yes. There's the bob towel. People always ask how long it took to build. It took about 5 months for just like the basic shell. Like all the accessories and stuff came later. So like these speakers we put on the outside, the Crazy Beaver, these lights. The awnings, these are ARB 2500 awnings. They're about 8 feet by 8 feet. And they've done pretty well. They do you can set them up with one person. It's better to set them up with 2 people. And the only problem we've had with them, we were camping, I think, where were we? We were in Florida, I think, and they were out. There was a storm in the middle of the night, and one of these like came loose, like the ropes came loose. It just started flapping all around, and it broke one of these poles. Luckily, though, these are replaceable, so we just went to Four Wheels Parts, and they had them in stock. And so what we've done since then, somebody at the campsite that night tipped us off to these. So these are dog stakes. They're not your regular stakes. So if you had a dog and you wanted to chain him up and have him run around in a circle, you'd use one of these. And so what people do is you put these down, they screw into the ground. They're way more secure than regular stakes. And I've seen people actually put ratchet straps on these and cinch down their awning so they don't blow away. So I'm sure there's more we can tell you about this, and we probably will in a minute. But right now, I'm getting kind of hungry, so we're gonna make breakfast. Breakfast tacos. We're in Texas.
That's all we ever make for breakfast.
Yeah, so people always ask, they say, there's no stove, there's no sink, like how do you cook? Well, I'll show you how we cook. Pull out your stove, and you put it on a table, just like that, and cook. been out enjoying the beach for a while. We decided to take a drive down the beach though. So last time we were here, we found like, so I've said this is like 4-wheel drive only, but we found like some Mini Coopers and Honda Accords stuck like 20 or 30 miles down the beach. So we're gonna go see what there is to see. But before we take a ride in the Raptor, let's talk about the Raptor liner. So I've got a lot of questions about this. When we first started off, I used this stuff called Gravel Guard. It's basically just like a big blast sticker that kind of looks like this Raptor liner does now. And over the years, it started to come off. So at some point, I ripped all that off and I repainted where the Gravel Guard was with Raptor liner. I put it in a HVLP gun to get it like a fine kind of texture. And this has been on here now for probably, I don't know, about 3 years. It's just spent an entire year outside in my yard getting sprayed on with lake water every day. And it's holding up really well. It hasn't lost any of its color. And I would absolutely do that again. And if we're about to take a ride down the beach, suspension is important. Well, Bob's staying here, but the suspension on Bob it's the Timbren axle-less system. And if you notice this bar here, that's just for extra support. It's not really needed. But the springs are basically those rubber pucks right there that you can see. And each axle or each wheel moves independently of the other. It lets it ride really smoothly over rough terrain. And that has been great. I would absolutely do that again. But now let's go see if we can find some Mini Coopers or something. The day is winding down. It's got a little bit windy, but I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
Awesome time. It was great.
We had a good time. So a couple more things about Bob before we close off the evening here. So everything you see here is really just storage. Like these are just cabinets. We got like pots and pans and cups up here. You've got speakers here on the side. This is the power distribution unit. I think it's a PD4040. It's got all the breakers in there, all the fuses for the 12-volt system, all in one unit. It also charges the battery. We've got AC outlets that come off of that, the USB 12 volts. It's a voltmeter right there. That all runs off of this right here. This is an old version though. You can get a new, better version that actually charges your lithium batteries No. It charges your lithium batteries better. I have not had a drink today.
Lithium batteries matter.
Up here is the dog food where we don't have dogs with us today, but there's a lantern and some plates, and that's cool. We already showed you the fridge. This drawer is really cool. It actually comes out really far. Got a whole bunch of stuff in there. And under here, again, that's the water pump, the Dutch oven, and all that sort of good stuff under there. The one thing I don't think I showed much of, though, the toolbox up here, it's just a bunch of storage again. So in here, the solar panel and the two tables that go on the side there, those come out of right here. And then up here we got, well, it's all just kind of chaos right now, but you've got like hammocks, and this is the shower tent that we didn't set up, and just odds and ends and water filters that we didn't use, and tarps and all sorts of stuff up there, just storage for all of your stuff. If I had to ask, what's your favorite thing about Bob? Tough question.
That's a tough question. The bed. I love the mattress in
The bed.
Bob. It's so comfortable.
So the bed in Bob, I don't think I mentioned this before. It's a queen size bed. It's a foam mattress from Costco. So it came in a box. I put the box in there and opened it up, and the bed has never come out since then because it can't fit through the door back again. No, but when you're in here, so the walls they're an inch thick, and an eighth of an inch of that is wood. Then you got 3/4 of an inch of foam insulation, then another eighth inch of a wood. And so when you're in here, it's quiet. You can't hear much of anything, and it's really comfy and cozy. So other questions I get all the time: how big is Bob? So the cabin itself is about 12 feet. The entire thing from like stern to bow here, that's about 17 feet, including the trailer hitch and whatnot. How tall is it? From floor to ceiling, that's about 5 feet because I bought 5-foot plywood, and well, that's how tall 5 feet plywood goes. These doors are about 3 feet tall. They came from vintage teardroptrailers.net, I believe. Same with the windows. So the solar panel, I threw it up there. I've been monitoring it throughout the day. It's been charging all day long, like even with the fridge and everything going. It's been adding power to our battery, so it's been doing good in full sunlight. So I might, again, probably at some point, hardwire it in. These side tables, I think these are just like little aluminum hinges, and then you kind of screw whatever you want to them, and I screwed on some plywood. I think, if I remember correctly, they came from SoCal Teardrops, which is the same place that the fridge slider came from. So SCT here, that's SoCal Teardrops, and I thought about building my own, but the time it would take to build one was, it'd take me an entire day, and just to buy one was way easier for me, so that's what we wound up with, and that has been working well. All these latches back here, if you're looking for them, they're called slam latches because whenever you slam them closed, they latch. We've got this light bar up here that is way too bright, but it was cheap, and I just kind of aimed it at the ceiling, and now it kind of provides like an ambient light, and it's working out well. So this black stuff up here, this is a tin ceiling material. I took it, I spray painted it black, and then sanded it down, put it all up there, all down here in the spice rack area, over here behind the paper towels, and I think it just kind of finishes everything off pretty nicely. And the lights, so Bob has LED lights all underneath. You turn them on with this remote right here, you can see them maybe kind of starting to go right there. And also in the speakers over here, which people were kind of giving me crap about that whenever we added them. They were like, oh, it's so bright, you're gonna annoy your neighbors or whatever, but these lights are so dim. Well, one, they look kind of cool, and two, it just kind of like leads you back to your camper in the middle of the night because it has like this kind of just like glow underneath it. And the ones on the side on the speakers, they're really not that bright. I don't think anybody's going to be offended by them. In fact, the porch lights up here above the doors, we never use them because they are so bright. They will blind you. And these undercarriage lights and the speaker lights, they're just kind of like a nice glow to let you know there's a camper here, and please don't run into us as you're bombing down the beach. So next step, I think we're going to dig a pit here. We're going to take the beaver over here, the crazy beaver, off the side of Bob and dig a pit, because out here you can either have fires in a grill, or if you dig a pit, you're going to have a fire in a pit. So we're going to probably dig a pit right about there because the wind is kind of crazy right now. We're going to use Bob to shelter the fire. And we, earlier today, we didn't show it, but we caught some Gulf shrimp. Fresh out of the Gulf, and immediately put them into a Ziploc bag with marinade, and they're in the fridge right now, and we're going to put them on some skewers and make some shrimp tacos because, again, Texas and tacos.
Yes.
Gonna cook breakfast this morning, but it turns out somebody's hungover. That somebody is me. So we're just gonna answer the most asked question I get about Bob real quick, and then we're gonna hit the road, which is plans. Where are the plans? What did I use? Can you have them? There were no plans. I just kind of looked around the internet, took notes on different teardrops that I liked, compiled like everything into one teardrop that I wanted, which was this. Just kind of sketched it out on graph paper and went from there. So I'll throw those images up on the screen right now. That's all the plans there ever were or will be. So Hope you liked the, kind of update tour of Bob on the beach for what he was meant to do. And until next time, maybe drink some water while you're having a good time. See you later. Thing we have in the camper is a first aid kit because someone just cut themselves.
No.
I mean, it's not bad. I think it'll float again. Plus, it's a Toyota.
Compared to your last boat project, this one's way better. way better.
Oh, there's the problem. No drain plug.